In my place of work, they can also testify to you that my wife can cook. I usually help her out, especially washing plates. I can wash plates 10 times. From your money.
For my money, kwa.
Yeah, it's not from our boss.
For my
Yes, it's for YouTube. The money you are making for YouTube, use it to buy. Let's.
I've not collected anybody from them now.
You will not look for money.
Everyone needs a shoulder to cry on. Everyone needs a helping hand. Everyone needs someone to rely on. Yes, everyone needs a friend.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
And happy anniversary in advance. How are you feeling at the moment?
Wow, I'm feeling so excited. I'm feeling so excited about the whole feeling of, being 2 years in marriage. It's not a joke anyway. Especially relocating, moving to another land and trying to settle down. It's been hectic somehow, but God has been faithful, and she has been my support system in the process, in the journey so far, and I think God is taking us somewhere, and God is helping us out to be able to be the best we can.
Absolutely. How are you feeling, gorgeous? You look so beautiful.
Thank you. I feel fulfilled. I feel grateful to God because it can only be God. Like in the space of 2 years, so many things have changed. And I can only give all the glory to God alone. He alone deserves it. And I'm so happy.
Congratulations again, guys. So
Thank you.
today we will be doing a series of questions. I'll be asking you certain questions about what you've learned in marriage for the past 2 years. Starting with you, Momo, what would you say with regards to speaking each other's love language?
Well, it's one of those things that you can't take away when it comes to marriage, because it's very very important. It's very very crucial in marriage. So, like my wife, she's someone that love acts of service. It's one of our core language, love language, and then you have to just go out. So sometimes you see me trying to help her out when she's cooking. You see me going to the shopping mall to be able to get some things at home, and when I see something that I think is going to be good for her, on her, and then I'll just try to get it for her. Sometimes we even do video call over there to be able to see if she has something else that she needs to add to what we have on ground, to the list of what we need to buy, and also trying to help her out when I see something that we encourage her in YouTube content creation. I'll just try to send it to her. Those things, she really loves that a lot. And sometimes we also have time for ourselves when we discuss about how much we love each other, the moment of truth, and try to be able to be vulnerable to each other, and try to talk about some things and improvements that needs to be made.
It has influenced our marriage in the sense that, as somebody coming from another background entirely, you need to learn and unlearn. So many things I already have at the back of my mind. When you get into the marriage, you realize that there's some things that your husband will be like, why are you doing things this way? And it's not your fault. It's because of your own background. So I had to unlearn some things, and I had to learn how to love him not the way I want to love him. I have to learn how to love him the way he wants to be loved. Because a lot of time we want to love our partner the way we feel like it's comfortable for us. So learning their own love language might be a bit difficult, but it's something that you have to keep working on and improving on. And it has really really helped us stay stronger, because we have to talk about it, especially when it feels like I might feel like because my husband's love language is gifts. So when I think about it and I buy him gifts, and sometimes I think there was a time in our marriage that I didn't even bother buying him any gifts. My husband was not complaining that, remember when we were still dating that time, that I used to buy him so many gifts. Maybe it's my friend that is influencing me. Now that's my true color now. I don't buy. I'm telling you, it was really a heated argument that day. I'm like, what do you mean by it's my friend that is influencing me? So that means I'm pretending. Do you understand? And I didn't feel like it was, like necessary. Probably I didn't. So I had to I had to learn it. I had to be intentional about getting him, gifts, because I'm already speaking his love language.
Wow. Let's talk about grace and space. How would you say this has been of impact in your marriage for the past 2 years? Shani?
The grace aspect is we overlooking some things when our partner, they will definitely annoy you. And that one is constant. Okay? The person that will annoy you the most is your husband or your wife. So it's very they will, especially when men generally, this topic we are talking about, we are going to be very real and practical with you. Men generally, they like to drop their things everywhere. They are not that organized like we ladies.
They're casting it.
No, you're not the only one. You will see your partner in the comment section. They are there. So they're not that organized like us. And we women, we tend to nag. Hey, wait. Hey, wait. And that will not change it. So we need to give them the grace that, okay, even if we are angry, there's a way we can pass across that information. And one thing I do to my husband is that when I've been talking, and I say that this might not change, when I see it, I will do it, but I'll keep quiet. He knows when I keep quiet. Hey, this was even worse than let her just talk. Oh. So he will ask me, and once I keep quiet, he will start, helping me to do it, and the next day he will readjust. So that's the way of giving them the grace. Okay, let me just overlook some
I
things.
think I also need to talk about the ladies in that aspect too.
Yes,
Hey,
please.
wait, now let me finish my own.
Yeah, all right.
And the space, I mean, you said grace and
Yes.
space. As because you are married doesn't mean you should choke them. Allow them breathe. Let your husband breathe. Sometimes my husband will be in the room, I'll be in the sitting room, and it's not like we are fighting. I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing. It doesn't mean that all the time we have to just be together. So they need that breathing space, especially men. They love it.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
from the lady perspective, when it comes to the grace thing, it's something that we guys, one thing I've discovered about marriage is that marriage is a school of patience. You need to learn how to be patient with your wife. If you don't know how to be patient, let me tell you the truth, you cannot get married. You just need to go to the school of patience before you come in and get married, because ladies, they will annoy you. Like the word I usually use, that ladies are not born again, apologies please. No matter how spiritual they are, when they show you their true color, then you understand that you need the grace of God for you to be able to get into the right marriage. Because they can nag, especially when they want you to do something for them at that moment. And you are still doing something, of course, you have said, okay, you are going to go, but they want you to stand up immediately and get it done. Oh, you are in trouble. Or sometimes when they nag, something has happened before, they will continue saying it. Even something small happened now, they will far back to the back and try to bring it. That's how you have been doing. Toshiman Shane here. Oh my God. Oh, ladies.
Okay, so
Yeah.
would you say the fact that men and women are wired differently gives us more room for grace?
Yes. So it's a part of thing that God has made beautiful. What I'm trying to say is we are not the same. Ladies are very emotional. For we guys, we are very objective in our approach, thinking and our approach of things. And so it's a beautiful thing trying to be able to bring that together to become a chord, and and that is one thing that is beautiful. So one thing you need to do is how to be able to make this work. You have to be intentional about it, and you have to be forgiving. You have to let go. It's meant to be a win-win thing. Sometimes you have to let go. You know that today you are not winning, she's winning, and another day you are winning and she just have to let go. You understand? So it's a win-win thing. It's not just win or lose, that someone is winning all the time and one person is losing all the time. That is not it. That is not perfection. There are two imperfect beings coming together to make it perfect, and that's one thing about it. And in terms of space, of course, I love my space sometimes.
And I give you.
Yes, you do, and I'm so much happy for that. That she's not stalking me and she's not, choking me. I love that about her, and I'm also giving her space. She knows that already. I do that, especially when she's on her social media or when she wants to have her prayer, and all of those things. I just have to give her time. And for me, I love my space, so I'll just go. I'll go and get my things done, watch my movies, read what I need to read, and go back to work if necessary, and that's it.
Okay, so before we leave this topic on space, I just want you to throw a little more light on how you were able to identify, you know, or how you are at the moment able to identify when your husband or your wife needs or deserves that space. How are you able to know that, oh, my partner needs space, and so I have to give it to them at that
Of
when to
course,
give them space.
yes, we've been together for a while now. I know when my wife, I understand the statement when she comes with, I'm tired. I understand what that means. And when I try to probe further, and I understand that, okay, when she's talking about a particular aspect of that tiredness, then I understand that she needs that space in this area. Probably it could be because she has been working throughout, because sometimes she'll work throughout the day, you know. She'll come back from work in the morning and try to be able to get some things done in regards to content creation, and try to edit and all of those things. And sometimes at the same day, probably there's a makeup job that she needs to be done, and then she's still going to work that night again. So you know that she needs that space. So just have it, please.
No, it's fine. I said everything.
And this question bothers down to you explaining how your partner likes to communicate and how they want to be communicated to. So, communication in general, how has that worked for you for the past 2 years?
Okay, let me.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to communication, I feel like that different aspect of communication, that verbal and there's that non-verbal. Sometimes I don't even have to talk. You know that okay, this person is communicating non-verbally. It might be touching you, or looking at you in a way that you know that this person is communicating whatever it is that you're doing. He doesn't like it, or probably they like it. So we, not all the time, that we don't, because of the way we are living, we work, and we don't really necessarily have all the time to sit down and say, okay, let's converse, let's have a conversation about it. Like this morning now, we have time, because I know I'm not going to work, even though I have other things to do afterward. But we're able to, communicate about whatever it is that we don't like, about our prayer altar, family prayer altar, about our sex life. So many things were discussed this morning. And we're able to do that because we know that he's not going to work today. I'm not going to work today. And it has really, really helped. Sometimes it was through messages. Probably when I remember some things at work, I'll just drop it. There was one day that I was leaving to work. Normally, when I'm going to work, I'll look at my husband. Okay, I expect him to see me to the bus stop. And this day, which was recently, he didn't come with me. When I got to the bus stop, I was looking back and saying, this might not come. And I said, say, continue. You have really changed. And I'm watching you. I was able to send him a text, and he now called me, and we had a conversation on the phone for a long time. Even though the boss came, I entered the bus. It didn't still come down, but we're talking on the phone, and I was able to relate whatever it is. And one thing I would say about communication is, don't drag it too much, and don't allow it stay for a long time, or you keep on sweeping it under the carpet. That's when you see a lot of outbursts later. The guy will say, you have changed. I did not change over the night. You are not taking cognizance. There's some things, and as I was telling my husband when he was saying that I've changed in some aspects, I said, no, there are some things that you have been doing constantly, and I feel like probably I thought about it. I'm like, doesn't mean, but subconsciously that's registered in my mind. And before you know it, when you do maybe one or two things again, that thing will play back and tell me that, he has done it again. That's why that man doesn't even love you again. You too, that bad character in you, everybody has it. It will just spin up. Pew, you too, you fly up, and you also be like, oh, what's happening? It doesn't just happen overnight. There is a reason why it's like that. So that's how you need to talk about. And one thing that has helped us in this marriage is that we don't sleep over any arguments. As much as sometimes we go up, we are at loggerheads. I go to work, we don't even see. We make sure that even if it is through text messages, we talk about it and we let it go. And when we see, we and that's why you have to marry somebody that has the heart for God, and is flexible. Not, I'm a principled man, I stick by my principle. It's not the principle of God, your own principle, then it doesn't work. Because marriage is not all about principle, my dear. So many things. So sometimes men ego want to set in. But when you see that, no, because of the peace in my home, I love the peace in my marriage. It would, There's nobody, you can't be doing ego in your marriage. It will not work. You sometimes you have to be like the woman, God, come down for her. That's how marriage works. So we talk about it every and anything.
Okay, so
I,
just to tweak it a bit before you answer and
all
to
right.
time off. You know, like with this, like we had established earlier, men and women are different.
Yes.
And when it comes to communication as well, we're quite different. So
Yes.
women may want to say things as they happen.
Hmm.
Some will want to keep it on, like Shade said, and linger it
Oh
on.
yeah.
But men seem to be a bit different. How have you guys been able to reconcile? Between who would like to discuss things as they happen at the moment, and who would want to let things linger on for a bit before it settles and then they're able to talk about it. How have you
Oh,
been able to resolve
okay.
that?
I would like to start from this perspective that leadership is about servanthood, and as a man of the house who is the head, the leader of the house, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. You need to stoop in order to
Yes, only
conquer.
wisdom.
So you need to stoop in order to conquer. So for me, that's what I use. That has always been my old strategy. I have to stoop in order to conquer. So when something happens, most of the time she's the kind of person that she wants to, okay, I'll hold her. So that's what you, okay. And but for me, I don't like. Although we've already discussed that, we brought that on the table, that no matter what the situation is, that particular day we have to resolve it, even if it's meant to be in the middle of the night. We have to discuss it and see a resolution regarding that crisis, and that has really helped us because we were so intentional about it. So even when something happened and it lingers into the night, you understand, in the dark hour of the night, we still, probably when I wake her up or she wakes me up in the middle of the night, we still so much intentional to stand up and discuss it, and then probably pray. Most of the time we pray about it, and we look at action plan of what to do and put things right. So for me, it has always been for me to stoop in order to conquer. And for her, it's someone that wants to hold it up. But sometimes she will be the one and come up. You don't want to speak with me. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk about this and that. And I'll now bring it to her that, yeah, it's not that I don't want to speak about it, but because we have spoken about it several times and there's no change. And that will now be something that we're now going to do an action plan on how to be to go about it so that it won't repeat itself over and over again, because it's sometimes it's very very difficult when communication, when you have communicated about that thing for several times and it keeps repeating itself. It could be tiring, it could be, and so sometimes, so the best option to do, especially in marriage, that is why godly marriage is the main thing, because sometimes you cannot help yourself because you are going through a journey that you have never been before, and people can only talk to you through their own experience, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the journey of another person is different, so it's not always the same thing at all. So they can only tell you about their own, what they've passed through, and if it's not the same, if it's not the same definition, if it's not the same journey, so how do you be able to define it? So the only person that can get it defined for you is the Holy Spirit. You understand? And that is your relationship with God. When you have a relationship with God, it will guide you into all truth. And the Bible says, know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So godly marriage is the in thing for you to be able to live a successful marriage life.
That was very profoundly said. And Shade, just watching the two of you and see how God has helped you this past 2 years, I can use the word fresh. And the Bible says that He daily loads us with benefits. So I'd just like to ask how you have both been able to keep it fresh, this past 2 years.
Thank you for that question. The way we've been able to keep it fresh is through friendship. One thing about marriage is marry your friend. Friendship is the key. All those butterfly in my tummy. It's not always like that. Yes, when you start dating, the butterfly is there. But over the years, it's that friendship that will keep the marriage. So we are friends, we relate with each other, and nobody is forming anything. We talk like guys, we respect, we honor, but at the same time, we are friends. And that has really, really helped us. And we constantly remind ourselves every day. I know I'll play out a scenario. There's this, my friend, my colleague that usually carry me when we're coming back from work. It was telling some people inside the boy one day that, don't worry, inside his car. Don't worry, Shade's husband will soon call her now. And before, lo and behold, my phone rang. That is what my husband do. Every morning, he will call me. He will pray for me. He will lay his hand on me. Not only that, even when I'm at home, when I'm going for work, he say, babe, bring your hand. And I also do that for him as well. Randomly, we just come, maybe come and pray for me. Oh yeah, lay your hand on me and pray. And I pray. And it's the same thing. I'll tell him to pray for me. And it has really, really helped us. So it is very, very important that the way you keep it fresh in your home might be different. But the basis for everyone is friendship. Because when you love your friend, you want to make them happy. You want to be there for them. You wish them well. You want them to be successful. Their win is your win. You are happy for their goals. When they're not even happy, you are there. You sympathize, you empathize with them. So that's one way that, and randomly, just randomly send ourselves text messages, and like yesterday my husband just send me text message and start praying for me and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. You just maybe one word, maybe a sentence, baby girl, I'm really, really proud of you, and that will really make my day. And I do likewise as well. So that's the way we've made it, stay fresh and beautiful for these past 2 years.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Momo, how would you say you work together as a team? And I remember initially one of the questions you had said that leadership for you is servanthood. So, together as a team, how does that work? How have you been able to make it together as a leader with a servanthood mentality? How have you been able to make it work together, as a team, as one?
All right. Sorry. For me, the leadership aspect of it, the team work, because when you want to be a leader, you must have a team spirit. That's part of the qualities of a leader. How to be able to work with other members of the team and try to work out a project and make it work. And that's the success of a leader. It is not just about me, 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 me. I just want to be in control. I want to be in charge. That is not a good leadership quality. It is about the team spirit that works things out. And I learned that from David. I learned that from Jesus, because when there was at a particular point in time when they wanted to arrest Jesus, they could not differentiate Jesus from the disciples because they were almost the same thing. You understand? He was not wearing one regalia outfit that will showcase that, oh, this is a leader. So in my marriage, we are a team. We are friends, and so we do things in common. So sometimes you even think, because she in some cases she makes a decision, I'll just give it to her because I know that's our strength. So in some cases, I'll make the decision, and that stands. So that's how we work it out as a team. So there are some things I've given to her, and some things that I'm going to be the one. Or especially when there are some cases where we cannot actually resolve, she will, hey, babe, how are we going to go about it? So please take the lead. And one way or the other, God gives me that wisdom. You understand? That intuition on how to go about it, and then we resolve it. I could still remember when we were trying to fix our cupboard at that time. I didn't like the idea for anything. But she said, okay, we have to get it done, because I was angry that how can we spend that kind of money and will not still be the one that to couple it? It doesn't make sense because I wasn't used to that kind of thing, coming from Nigeria. So when she brought it in and we're trying to couple it, and sometimes because I was not really, really, really into that thing, but we got to a level where we don't even know what to do. And she said, well, I'm fed up. Oh, you go and find solution to it. Now we are the this thing. And one way or the other, the inspiration will come. I'll look at it, or just give me some time. I'll be able to find a way around it and pull it through. So that's just a scenario of how we have been working out as a team and as a leader of the family.
Thank you so much. So can I just listening to you speak, right, about working together as a team? In every team there are weak links. And in marriage, I see weak links to be weaknesses, individual personality differences, which can come off as weaknesses. So how have you both, Shade, been able to deal with each other's weaknesses? I mean, we've heard so far in this video of your strengths and your adequacies and how excellent you are as individuals, but there's also that area of your personality that is not as blooming or as blossoming as you would want it to be, and the same goes for your partner. So I'd like both of you to answer this question for starting the show.
Okay, I would also want to say that we don't focus more on our weaknesses. We major on our strength, just so it can cover us for our weaknesses. As much as we are working towards getting better at our weaknesses, whatever it is that I know that my husband is complaining about me, I try as much as possible, because it's just like me weighing my weakness and my strength. He knows that my strength overweighs my weakness, but at the same time, that weakness is still coming in the way, affecting one thing or the other in our home. And I try as much as possible to, in the aspect of, and I'm going to, I said in this topic, we're going to be very vulnerable when it comes to aspect of giving money. I usually use this word concerning my husband, that my husband gives money with emotions. And my husband can decide that we should pack all the money that we have and go and give it out. But I'm in the school of thought that, babe, don't let us do like that. Let us be reasonable. Let us give this so amount out. Let us be able to save this. So my husband believes that if you like, give all your money out, God will provide. At the same time, God has also given us, and he doesn't know how to manage money. He's always saying that, me, I don't know how to manage money, but he's still saying me that I have savings. Do you understand that I will still have one money or the other? I'm keeping one place, which, and it usually affect us a lot, because I'll be like, you will be like, hey, baby, you don't want to give. It's not good. I say, no, that's not how to give. Even God does not even want us to be giving with emotions. He doesn't want it. And I know that to me is lavish, like, let me put it that way, for a lack of word. The way he just, give. He's a very kind person. He gives, he can give anything. But it also has the negative aspect of it, which is what we are still working on. And me, I'm a better manager. He knows when it comes to handling money. Even my siblings, they know. They say they rather keep their money with me, because they know that I will not spend it. I will keep, even if I spend it, I'll make sure that I return the money back. Which in my ear, he sees that is not good. But I feel like both of us work together. If I'm holding on to so much money and I don't want to release, because of the nature it can influence me, I'm like, baby, let's release this money, and I will. And if I see that it's overspending, I can also, and I thank God that that weakness has, we've really, really improved in his own aspect as well. And he is going to talk about my own weakness. And that's what I'm talking about, is because he might not necessarily know that it is a weakness for him. Is it the fan that is making you?
Oh yeah, don't
Chevy
worry.
use you like fan.
No, it's okay.
That's why what is coming out of his eyes. So like that, he might be feeling like, baby, you are not giving people money. Let's give them money. Let's any small thing, maybe. My husband, I remember one time when we were still dating. My husband was not, we're dating. No, this man will call me, baby, please, can you borrow me money? I said, what do you want to use it for? Somebody needs. Tell them you don't have this money. You don't have to come and borrow money to help people. That's how much my husband will go. Instead of him telling them no, my husband doesn't know how to say no. He doesn't know how to say no to people. Rather, he will go and borrow money just to help them. Then he will now come back and now start, because every time I say, baby, why are you still paying debt? He will not want to tell me, because he knows that I'll be angry at him, but we are gradually working on it.
Yeah,
And
God is helping us out. From my own perspective of it, it's been a journey where we've been one way or the other helping each other out to be able to cover up for our weaknesses. And when I see that area, I call her attention to it quickly in order for her to be able to adjust. And if I see that it's something that I need to come in, I'll try to be able to come in and try to cover it up, other than people seeing it outside there. I think I'm more protective, and that's why I won't be able to discuss any of the weaknesses really. I'm more of a protective person really, and so when I see it, I'll let her know, or I'll try to be able to come in and try to fix it up. So it has always been both of us trying to be able to cover up each other's weaknesses.
Wow, that's amazing, and that was very profoundly answered, I must say. So I mean, listening to the both of you, it's apparent that God is the center of your home,
Yeah.
and you've mentioned prayers. So I'd like to ask how you're able to build a prayer. I don't know if I'll say altar, with how busy your schedules are, and then how different things are for the both of you, and not just build it, but enjoy it. And live in answered prayers. How are you able to do all of that?
All right. I think for me, I think that's just one of those things we discussed this morning, as she has said earlier, because a prayer altar is very, very important as a family. That keeps you going. It keeps the wheel to be rolling, and for us, I think what we do is, because we have a busy schedule sometimes, because for me, I see my schedule is still a bit flexible for now, but sometimes it could be very tedious when it comes that way. But for her, she's very busy throughout. And so, like when I come in the evening, that's when she's going to work. So sometimes to be able to have a family altar together could be a little bit difficult, you understand. But anytime she's on leave, she's off work, we always find a way to be able to pray together. And early in the morning, even when she's at work, when I'm going out, I can just call her and probably send a word of prayer, or leave a voice note for her, or send her a message, prayer message, and all of that. But sometimes we'll make it intentional that, okay, this day we are fasting every week. Okay, this day is when we are fasting every week. You understand? Okay, this day in the week we're having a feature, so we have that time where we'll be able to talk to God. And God has been faithful to us, really. And God has been promising. There are a lot of promises God has brought up, and I'm wondering how those things are going to fall into place. But we just believe God, because God has been faithful. Looking at our journey right from when we got married to this time, it's just God. It has just been God. There's no way how we can explain it better. Because I could remember when we were going to the marriage, I lost all my money. It has never happened to me in my life before. I lost all my investments, not one, not two, not three, at once, everything. So I was left with nothing than just my salary and little savings that I have in my account. But all the investment gone. Few weeks to the wedding, and God came through. And the wedding was like, people are still talking about the wedding till tomorrow, because there were no food that people were able to carry, and people were still talking about, want to have that kind of wedding, and that there's enough food, there's no food you are looking for that you not find there. And and after that, we relocated within 6 months. We're still talking. It got a level where we are stuck. We didn't know what to do. There was no money, and God came through for us. We went to see someone that day, and we came back home with $3,000. Well, we're not thinking about it before, but we just believe God, and that is why I understand what God is telling me. Then work with me by faith, because I remember I prayed some time ago, and God, I just said, "Walk with me by faith." He said it first time. He said it second day. So I said, "What is this faith? I'm asking for this thing. You're telling me to work with me. How do I want to understand what?" But now I understand, and we're still in the process of understanding what God has in plan for us. Because the promises of God towards us is so great that we cannot achieve it by our own power. We can't. And it's so big. And I'm just looking at it. How are we going to get there? But with God, we know we can do all things. And I'm talking to someone out there too, that you need Jesus to be able to make the real thing come out from you, because every man that God has created has a manual, and the person that holds the manual is God. So if you really want to know much about yourself, what you can do, you need to go to the person that has the manual, which is God, and be able to show you what you can do, what He has in plan for you, the functionalities of your life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mo. Would you like to add something?
No, okay. Let me just add that we enjoyed the moments and the answered prayer, things that God has done for us. We are grateful, not forgetting, because a lot of times you forget what God has done for you because of the ones that have not been answered. So, and you dwell. A lot of families, they are waiting on God for the fruit of the womb. A lot of them, better career, so many things that couples are waiting for, forgetting that God has kept them. God that has brought you this far. So we don't look, we are still expectant,
Yes.
but we make sure that that moment, we do not forget of the things He has done in the past. We are thankful, and all the time we reminded ourselves that who are we that He's so mindful of us. We are so grateful. It's still very fresh in our memory, and that is what has kept us happy, grateful, and that's why God has continually added to us. So I will encourage you that as much as yes, you want something and you're looking unto God for something, but don't forget those things He has done. Be grateful, be thankful. Definitely we'll add more to it. So
Thank you so much. I mean, I can sit here all day and listen to the both of you. But the next question is, something quite controversial in the society at the moment, and it's about money. You know how women say, "My money is my money," and "Your money is our money." So let's talk money and greed. How do you strike the balance? I mean, from just listening to this conversation already, you've mentioned how, your husband has called, even before you guys got married to ask for money, and that wasn't a problem. It didn't sound like it was a problem to you. and then of course he had spoken about how he had been supportive as well financially. So how are you able to give, a balance to your marriage financially?
That's I will thank God and I will thank my wife for putting that through. Because when it comes to money, I think she's in charge. I'm just trying to learn how to be able to manage money. Why? Because more of a I have this belief that the hands up that is giving will always have more compared to one that is receiving it all the time. So that's my approach to money. And sometimes you need to apply wisdom in giving out money. And one thing my wife have done so far is for us to be able to bring our money together, our finances together, and try to be able to establish a family finance, savings, and all of that. And that has been helping us seriously. So although we have our own little money that we spend all around, that will give ourselves that liberty to spend, but the majority of us we have a project, we put things together because we are friends, so we do things together. We don't believe in that one belongs to you, that one, but she has her own, like our business is our business. So if I have my own business, is my business. But when it comes to the normal financial salary that comes in, we manage it together. You understand? So our business is her business. She can do whatever she wants to do with her business, with her money from her business. For me to my own business is my business, whatever I want to do. But sometimes when we have a bigger project, we see how we can be able to bring this money in and try to be able to help in order to be able to make it solid.
Okay, so when it comes to money aspects, as I said, because I usually tell him that, baby, when it comes to this business, it's still a thriving business, and for people that are understood or knows about business, knows that you can't just start putting hand inside the money when it comes to business. When you receive money for your business, there's a percentage you need to pay yourself, there's a percentage you need to use to buy you the product that you have used, and there's some percentage you need to save from that same money. So, and that's my approach to my business, and that's why I make sure that I delete the money. But if there's a need, even in that salary that I pay myself, that still comes into the family money, which is when I know that, okay, we need to buy things, I'm going out, I buy this one, I buy this one. But when it comes to our salary, both of us bring it together, we remove our tithes first, then every other thing we now pay each other money again from that salary. Okay, you will take £100, I'll take £100. That's our money we're going to spend. Apart from the food we buy in the house, the other things we do. But that £100, I don't know what you feel like. Go and dash everything out and give somebody just your own. Don't you come ask for my own £100 because this my house. Like, the next thing will come. Baby, please. So I say, what is £100? The money has finished. Do you understand? So that's how we do it. We save some, we pay all, and you know how UK is, bills. So we pay the bills and we save some as well. So that's how we've been able to cope when it comes to money. And knowing that the money that we both have it. Because you can't be selfish in marriage when it comes to money. You cannot move forward. You can't, even in this UK, even anywhere in the world, you cannot. Because the Bible says one will chase 1,000 and two will put 10,000 to flight. So they were naked and not ashamed. Is it with your money you want to be ashamed with? No way. You have to be naked and unashamed with everything. So
I also want to add it to it that that is our own principle of managing finances in our home. But that does not mean that it works with every marriage, because the journey of every marriage is totally different. So that's one thing I just want to establish.
Thank you for that caveat. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. The next question is in line similarly to what you've just answered, and it's about accountability. How are you able to hold each other accountable? Because I've heard that, yes, your friends and all of that, but your friend can also be someone who is not prudent. Your friend can be someone who is not very good with money. So, for example, Shade can seem to be good with money, and one day she'll wake up and all your salaries you have joined together, she'll go and buy land. So how are you able to hold each other accountable? I had to add, something to that question without coming off as being suspicious.
okay.
We want to talk
Great.
about. One of those things that we've done is that our accounts, there's a particular account that is linked together. That are particular accounts
Yes, no one.
No one. Linked together. So when she's removing money from
It
it,
has
I
seats.
can see it. If she's removing money from that account, I can see it. Different from our own personal accounts. You understand? So from there, we'll be able to say, and sometimes when she's buying too much, I will know. When she's spending too much of money on Uber, I will know because it's linked. So anytime she's going out with Uber, I will see it. I will know that okay, she has spent this money today. So we've tried to maybe to bring ourselves to that level where we can understand ourselves and we can say no. And one thing I love her for is that when I stand my ground, that no, she listens. And of course, when she says no, of course I listen. You know that.
Why do you have to say okay, is that I seem to have been person?
I have not said you're a wicked person. so, so that's just it. I think
Okay, he has said he has answered the question. And also there is this page where when you are withdrawing money, my husband doesn't usually do that. I usually complain that you can reference, that you can write whatever it is that you're using the money for. It also make it explainable. So when I see, sometimes I'll just say that what happened? 200 pounds at this place in this account. Me, my body, pepe body, carry my phone. Hello, baby, what you use the money for? See, baby, I cannot even remember. Hey, wait. Listen. I'm going, okay, when I get home, I will think about it. Before I get home, I will remember what I use it for. But eventually, when it comes back, you tell me, okay, this is what we did. We spend this one. I was using my overdrafts, and sometimes you use his account to. A lot of times when we go for shopping, he's one that pays because I don't have strength. Start begin. I said, maybe just pay, and he has overdraft, so you might have used the overdraft. I've forgotten. I'm still thinking that money is us after we've done shopping for the month. So he will have removed the money, but my husband will not write the reference. So me, I will not know. I'll not be saying, okay, maybe what happened to the money? Do you understand? But that's how we keep ourselves accountable, and I make sure that even the money we take for ourselves, I ask man, maybe who did you give the money to? Tell me. Okay, I give this person. Eventually, he won't want to say it, but I will just tell me, are you hiding things? Are you hiding? I say no. Will now tell me just so we can be accountable, because I know, because we have a Instagram account, and I have seen, because the account is both linked to our phone as well. And I've seen people in the DM asking me for money, begging me for money up and down. And I'm like, baby, don't mind it. I want 419. Because now there's a very, very, before you know it's there, we'll go inside our account and come and pack all the money I sent to them. Ah, no, like our general money, like our joint account, I can go there and go and borrow money today and say you want to give the person.
No, I don't do that. I do that for my own person.
I know, but I'm just saying, what if the person is using jazz or saying that?
Oh, okay. Is that what
all those random people. I'm not saying the people that you know. Random people that will just come to the DM. Now.
Yeah, I don't know why Nigerians are like that anyway.
But also, will not be telling me, maybe it might be real. They have daughter is sick or is in the hospital. I say it's a lie. It's a So that's how we keep ourselves accountable. We both have our emails on our phone. There's transparency. There is no, as I said earlier, they were naked. I'm not ashamed. It's not. I don't have to check my husband's phone because there is trust. I don't have to, but I know my hand can open his phone. He knows my password. He can have my phone, and I'll be fine. I don't have to be, and I don't check his phone because there's no foundational problem for me to be. And if I want to check, I have the liberty to check, and it won't be feeling anyhow. And that's how marriage should be: transparency, trust. So.
Yes, thank you so much. That was you guys are hitting the nail on the head. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think our final question for today is how do you give your all? Yes, you have mentioned, being friends and being transparent and all of that good stuff. But how are you able to give your all without feeling exhausted?
That's a very, very, very good question, because I will not lie, your marriage is not easy. It's not a bed of roses. Sometimes you just, there's sometimes I'll come back from work because I do nights, and when I'm back, like yesterday, when I got back from work yesterday, I had a makeup job. I did that. Imagine, I've not slept. After I was done, I went to go and sleep, and the alarm on my phone woke me up by 6 o'clock, because I know that my husband, any moment from that time, is going to be back, and it won't be nice for him to come back and not meet food. And I'm still going to tell you, sometimes though, that was yesterday. I had to wake up drag myself out, shall make this. I brought out this stew, make spaghetti, white spaghetti. Normally I would do serene because I love to cook. I just cook white spaghetti. I cannot die. We ate the spaghetti with the stew like that.
And we
But
enjoy ourselves.
yes, and sometimes I will not wake up because I am extremely tired and I cannot die. I cannot die. So I'm going to be there on that bed. He will come back. Ah, baby, there's no food. Sometimes men, they can be very insensitive. You will say, ah, baby, I've gone out since morning. I see me, I've been sleeping in the house. Forgetting that because he feel like you're at home since morning. Forgetting that I went to do night and I'm back. So he will have forgotten. So you'll be like, baby, you are at home since morning. You it's only content that you are doing. You did not cook. I'll just me when I know that I don't even stress for fight this today, I'll not just answer him, I will be quiet. Sometimes I would demand, I say, baby, go and cook for me. I am tired. I'm not going to stand up from this bed. Go and cook. Recently, I still did it for him. He made bread, beans, bread and egg. That was what we had. I said, baby, today, I'm not doing nada. And I remember in Nigeria, Sundays we don't cook. Oh, maybe it's in the evening. Once you are coming back from church like this, we are going out to eat every Sunday. I'm telling you, once we are coming back from church like this, we go to the restaurant to buy food, and that was the norm in Nigeria at that time. We eat out every Sunday because we feel like Sunday is normally safe. You take time, especially Thanksgiving Sunday, you come back late and you don't expect. They just believe that once you come back, they enter the kitchen, forgetting that we're just coming back, at the same time. So that's the way I've been able to. Sometimes I don't care. I'm gonna sleep on that bed because sometimes marriage can be really exhausting.
All right. From that perspective, my wife have been trying because I'm of the opinion that there are responsibilities of a man and of a wife because we come from a background where we believe that there are duties for a man and for a woman, and one of those things for a woman is cook. I'm not trying to say that cooking every time. Guys too can cook. That's the truth. But sometimes, because probably the way we find ourselves here now, and she's always around in the morning down to the evening time, and she's very good. There's nothing I want to cook. I can say that I can cook better than her. So I give it to her. So I don't stress myself because I don't want to hear story.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Macho
So
woman.
no, it's not macho woman. She can cook. People can testify to that anyway.
I can.
So there's nothing. Probably is average. Probably I will have yeah, no, I will have just jumped in and let's do it together. But I know that she can. She's very very good at it, and so there's nothing I can do. Like override that really. So sometimes I'm waiting. It's one of my probably my love language right now. Food. I'm a foodie, and
You accept it.
yes, when I'm coming back home from work, I'm thinking about what my wife is going to make for me today. Hey, my God, I've always been boasting about that, even in my place of work, and in my place of work, they can also testify to you that my wife can cook. Some of them have been asking me, can she make what's it called, a tray of food for them, something like that. And so they've been asking that. Okay, they're going to talk to her when they want to have one particular event or the other. I said, okay, when the time comes, we pass through that. Even this coming Friday, they've already told me at place of work like, okay, oh yeah, bring your jollof rice or your fried rice to this and that. So I will bring it. So everybody will bring because we want to pepper them in the office. Why? Because they usually give us food on Fridays. And now the what they are giving to us now, we don't like it. So we want to show it to them that okay, without your food, we can eat better than what you are giving to us now. Because someone else has taken over and she's just misbehaving with the menu of what she's giving, and so we want to show them on Friday we'll bring different kind of food. I'll be eating it in front of them. So imagine. So she's very good at it. And for me, when I can understand when she's tired, I just have to step in my own little way and contribute. That's what I do in my own little way. Of course, now, of course, we are not perfect.
Baby,
We are not perfect, yeah, because I've been dreaming about your food already. So now I'm not seeing it. So sometimes it could be very disappointing. What I thought about, I'm going to eat something, nice. Now I have to eat anything that I see. You understand? So it's love, it's love. So,
Jim, you.
but I can understand sometimes. So I'm not perfect, I'm working to perfection. So that's just it. So for men, please don't turn your wife to a chef or throughout. So sometimes you can also step into the kitchen. Just like me, sometimes I usually help her out, especially washing plates. I can wash plates 10 times when she's cooking. Let me tell you the truth.
It's always complaining that,
So
baby, anytime I'm making it to wash it, that's why you overuse the plate.
yes, she
It's a
will overuse the
lie.
plates.
No.
I can imagine how can you wash plates 10 times because someone is
You
cooking.
want cooking?
Yes, you won't cook. It's wickedness.
So I want to purposely wicked you because you are helping.
She will use all the plates, and I'll have to start washing all of them. She can use about 5 times pots, 5 pots. I have to wash everything. Kilo day, just because of please, baby, don't kill me.
But you are enjoying the food now.
Actually, I'm enjoying the food.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for being so honest and being so true on this interview. I think my final word to you, I don't know if I'll say it's a question. I just want you to drop maybe just one each lessons you've learned in these 2 years, like the most vital lessons you've learned
Uh,
in marriage.
One of those things that I've learned about marriage, I've said it earlier on, it's about two imperfect being coming together to make it perfect. So there's no perfection in any marriage. The only one that can make it perfect for you is God. So you walk a journey with God and you'll see your marriage being perfect.
Thank you. Shadi, what would you say next?
Always put your partner first. Because if you put your first, that's being selfish. So when you put him first and he also put you first, then both of you are, you're putting each other first and you keep your marriage fresh and beautiful.
Thank you guys. Cheers to the next 10, 12, 15, 50, 100 if Jesus tarries to come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.